What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are still on our Affinity 3 series, and today we are going to talk about all the tools in the Pixel Studio of Affinity 3. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also like the video if you found it helpful. If you're already here, thank you for coming back. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Now the first tool to talk about is the Move tool. Now, as the name goes, it is used to move objects around. It could be image, shape, even you can use it to move your panels as well. Alright, now you can also use it to rotate your object or your image. So just hover your mouse and rotate it like that. Now you can hold shift and it will give you a fixed angle rotation. Alright, you can use it to scale down and scale up as well. So that is the Move tool. Now let's move on to the next tool, which is the Perspective tool. Now the Perspective tool, one thing I would like about this software is that it has an assistant built in, and that helps you to do some things automatically. So now it has already rasterized this for us, so we can go ahead and apply our perspective. So you click and drag to create a perspective like that, and yeah, we have the perspective panel as well. You can make some changes here. You can show grade, you can also change the plane to dual and the rest. Okay, after you've done all this, then you think it's okay for you, you can hit apply and you can have shape like that. Now the next tool is what we call the mesh swap tool. Okay, now with this one, you click the node and you have this handle. You click and drag to create any custom shape that you want. Okay, so it's very simple as that. Okay, now the next tool to talk about is what we call the deform tool. Okay, so the deform tool, you just click to create a point and you drag, you click to create another point and you drag. Okay, just to deform it. So let's create another point again, and yeah, this one looks like a dress. I don't know if you can see that. It kind of look like a dress, so I think I'll save it like that. Now we have our dress. Let's rotate it this way. Wow, this is a nice dress. All right, so that is for the tools in the Move tool. Now we move on to the next one, which is the Crop tool. The shortcut is C, and what it does that it crops your canvas. So I think this one everybody knows it. Just crop this to your dress. Then hit enter. That's it. Okay, now the next tool to talk about is the object selection tool. Okay, so I'm just going to show you an image. Let me turn our dress off for the moment and show you this image. Now let's select the image. With the object selection tool, what it does is that is the AI figures the object in the picture or the image. Okay, so now we have this object as one object, we have this and the rest, and even the background. So we can go ahead and select any one. Okay, so maybe I want to select the orange. Just make a click and it will select it. Okay, so you can max it and do anything with it. That is the object selection tool. Now we have another selection tool called the selection brush tool, and this one works like Photoshop quick selection tool. So you click and drag. Now you can add to selection. You hold Alt to subtract from selection like that. So that is that. Now let's move on to the next one. Now I want to bring back our address like that and turn this one off. Now the next tool is the flat select tool. Now this one select based on color, so it works like magic wand tool in Photoshop. So when I click on this, you can see this is all black. It's going to select that. Okay, that's pretty simple, right? Now if I click on the white, it's going to select the white. Okay, now it has selected the white. If I max it out, you can see that the black will go. Now we have white. Yes, so that is basically what the flat select tool does, right? Now let's move on to the next one. We have the rectangular marquee tool. Now the rectangular marquee tool is used to select things that looks like a rectangle shape. Okay, so maybe I want to select this part, I can just select it like that. All right, now let's move on to the electrical marquee tool. This one is used to select things that looks the shape, it looks like a circle. Okay, so let me show you something. Let me turn off our address and show you this watch. So you can see that the watch looks like a circle, so you can just click and drag. Now you hold space bar to position or move around your selection, and just release it if you find it cool, and there you go. So that is the elliptical marquee tool. Right, now there is this others. We have the color marquee tool and we have the row marquee tool. Actually, I don't really use them. I don't know if you guys use it. Let me know in the comment section. So let's turn off this and bring back our address. Okay, so we have what we call the freehand selection tool. It's like a lasso tool in Photoshop. So you can draw with your free hand to make a selection like that. And better still, you can hold control to make it like a polygonal lasso tool. Okay, so yeah, you can just hold Alt to create the straight lines like that. Now you could see that when I make a selection, another, like the previous selection goes away, and the reason is that under the mode I have new activated, so it means that any selection that I do is going to be new and replace the old one. So if I want to add to selection, I just have to click the add, and that one is going to add to the selection like that. And if I want to subtract to, I click on this one and my selection is going to subtract from the selection. That is that. So let's move on to the next one, which is the fill tool. Now for the fill tool, to create a fill tool, what you have to do is to create a new fill layer. All right, so you can come to pixel and select new fill layer, and it's going to turn into black because we have the black color and we have a solid as the type. So we can change it to linear, and that's going to give us a linear gradient, and you can change the colors from here. So let's give a bright color, yellow. Click this one, change it. Let's select this one. Let's make sure that we select this one, change it. Yeah, so I think this one is cool. You can just check the in between colors like that. You can reverse it and other stuff. Okay, so that is that. So that is for the fill tool. Now we can go ahead with the next tool, which is the flat fill tool, and this one, with one click, it paints a space. You understand? So you just paint every space like that. Good. So yeah, let's undo all these things and just I think I can simply delete it. Good. Now we have our address. Now we have the next two, which is the paintbrush tool, and the shortcut is B. Okay. So the paintbrush tool, you just have to have a color. Okay, so let's select this color, red, and you can simply paint. Okay, so you can check the flow and the opacity and the rest. So I can just make a dots. Ooh, this is in fact a nice dress. And maybe you can paint here. Ooh, I don't know, but yeah, you get it, right? It's just for painting. We have inside the brush options, we have more brushes here that you can pick any brush from. Yeah. Now for the brush tool, you can just hit the cursor or the bracket key on your keyboard to increase the size of the brush or reduce it. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. We have the paint mixer brush. Now the paint mixer brush is purposely used for those who are into digital art. For me, I'm not really good at that, so I don't really use them. So let me show you a picture, and I hope I don't destroy this beautiful picture. Oh, I said it. Yeah. So it's kind of used for painting and stuff like that. So if you are into that, I think this can be handy. Now let's move on to the next one. We have the color replacement. So this is basically replacing a color. Okay, so you can just pick a color, hold Alt, select the color. Right, you could see from here has changed, and I can replace that color just by painting. So make sure you select the layer and just paint to replace that color. Alright, so that is that, but I don't think it's something I'll be using because there are better way of doing this sort of thing. Okay, so yeah, let me bring back. Ooh, it means that we painted this thing. Oh my gosh, and you see it is distractive as well, so we can't get rid of the thing. Okay, it's also distractive, so let me go back. Yeah, and we have our beautiful black dress. So the next thing that we can talk about is what we call the pixel tool. And the pixel tool is just for painting. Okay, so every tool here is for painting, and this one, it paints in pixels. So pixels are the smaller boxes having color information. All right, so just for painting. Let's move on to the next one. We have what we call the erase brush tool to erase things. Okay, so it means that when I click and drag, we clean our dress just like that. So we have what we called the background erase tool. So let me show you an image and see if it can remove the background. So let me bring in this image, select it, let's rasterize it. Okay, now let's see what it can do. Okay, so you just click and drag, then it just cleans the background for you. And I think this one is kind of distracting because if you really want to remove a background, I don't think this is how you're going to do it. There is a better way of doing that. Yeah, so I don't think I'll be using this tool most often, or maybe never. Yeah, but I just want to show you. Okay, so that is that. Now we have what we call what is the name of these two? We have the flat erase too. So this one is like the magic one too. Okay, so one click, then it just remove everything, isn't it? And you see it has these things here. You kind of work even the hair. Let me zoom in. You see there are so many things that you need to work it on. So that's what I'm saying. This is kind of distractive, and I don't think I'll be using them. But I mean, if you really know how to use it, then that's good for you. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which is the adjustment brush tool. Now the adjustment brush tool, once you select it, come to the optional or the contextual bar. We have lots of adjustments here, so you can maybe select any of them. Okay, so maybe I want to select, what do you call it, exposure. Okay, now once I select the exposure, all that I have to do is to paint where I want to expose. Now I'll have this panel, and when I increase it, you can see the lights. Yeah, so that is basically the adjustment tool. That's how it works. Select any of the adjustment and just paint, and use the panel to just make the adjustment. We also have the adjustment icon here. You can also select and do your adjustment. So let's move on. We have what we call the blend brush tool. Now this is used for creating shadows. Okay, we have what we call the dash and blend, or blend and dash. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit and try and create some shadow for you to see. So I'll just paint here. Yeah, and this is kind of distractive way because we have a better way of doing dash and bend, or bend and dash. Yeah, so the next two is the dash brush. So it's going to create highlights, as you can see. Yeah, so that is that. We have what we call the sponge brush tool, and this one can increase the saturation of the image. So when I paint on the lip, you can see. Okay, you can see it is very subtle, but you can see that the saturation has increased. Okay, now look at the lip has become more brighter. Yeah, so let me undo that. Now the next tool is what we call the filter brush tool. Now the filter brush tool also works like the adjustment. Okay, so you have a lot of filters here. Okay, so Gaussian blur, box blur, and stuff like that. So maybe you want to use Gaussian blur, you can just paint, and you can see that half of the face is blurred. All right, you can check the flow and the rest. So that is the filter tool, the filter brush tool, like that. Now we also have what we call the, what's the name, the blur brush. So it's also for blurring faces or blurring objects, but this one is very subtle. If you don't take time, you will not see, but it's very yeah. Let's undo all these things and let's move on. Okay, so we have the next tool, which is the sharpen brush tool. So when you paint, it sharpens, it brings more details. You see it? Yeah, so that is that. We have what we called the median brush tool. Actually, this one, it says that it reduces noise by blending pixels under the stroke. So if you have an image that has a lot of noise, you can use that one as well. Now the next tool is the Smash Brush tool. Okay, the Smash Brush tool, use it to smash, like bring in, bring out, things like that. So maybe you can use it to correct the hair, some hairs that are going wayward and you want to bring it in. So you can check the strength. Okay, so maybe I want to bring this one in like that. So that is the Smash Brush tool. You could see what I'm doing. Actually, I would remove it then to bring it or to smash it. Now let's move on to the next tool, which is the Clone Brush tool. Now let me show you how this one works. So I'll turn this one off, turn everything off, and show you this. So what this one does is that you have to select a region where the object you want to clone is. Okay, so hold Alt, select this, it has picked it, then start to paint. Okay, so make sure you are on the right layer. Now you can paint to clone it. Okay, so you are creating another image from the original. That is the clone aspect of it. So that's how it works. Okay, you're going to undo that. We have what we call the undo brush. Actually, I don't know how to use this, so if you know it, please drop it in the comment section and you'll be grateful. Let's move on. We have what we call the inpainting brush tool. Okay, so the inpainting brush tool is just like remove tool, okay, in Photoshop. Okay, so we can just paint on this and it's just going to remove it. Okay, let's see, and it's very fast and I like it. It's not that bad. Good. So that is that. Let's move on to the next one. We have what we call the healing. Okay, the healing, what does it do? So repair and retouch on sightly area of an image. Okay, so I think we can bring back our image and see what we can do with it. Now we can sample. I think we can sample a place, maybe sample, then we repair. Yeah, actually I don't know what it's doing, but yeah, used for repairing. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have the patch tool. So the patch tool is repairing as well. So for the patch, select where you want to repair, maybe this blemish, then hover over a place that you think, oh, so we were not selecting the right layer, that's why. So sorry for that. Now yeah, selected it, so we can just hover where you want the effect to be and just click, and that's good. Okay, we've just cleaned that. Now let's move on to the next one, which is the blemish remover tool. So this one is used for removing blemish. So let's see if we can get rid of this thing. Good. Yes, I think it does a good job. Okay, one thing when it comes to retouching is, for me, that's personally my personal opinion, you don't really have to make it perfect, because it's like nobody really has a perfect face, you understand? So you have to make it a realistic face, not something that everybody will see that, okay, oh, this is fake. So that is that. Now we have the red eye remover too. I think when you wear this eye, it will make it look nice. I don't know, but yeah, that's how I see it. Now let's move on to the next one. That's our pen tool. So I'm going to turn this image off, and yeah, the pen tool is used for creating custom shapes. Okay, that's it. So let me bring our dress. Now you click to create custom shapes. That's it. That's the pen tool. Now when you click and drag, you get escape to cut it. Now when you click and drag, you get curves now like that. Good. Now you can also turn your shapes into selection. So when you click selection, then it transforms from shape to selection. You understand? So that's how it works. Don't worry, I'm going to do a separate video on this pen tool and show you how you can do it. All right, so let's get rid of these things and move on. We have what we call the what's the name? The name should appear. We have the node tool. The node tool is used to manipulate shapes. Okay, so we can let's say we created this shape. Okay, we can select the node tool to manipulate the node. Okay, and we can also add some like that. This is like a diamond or diamond in the sky. Yeah, so that is that. Let's move on to the next tool, which is the rectangular tool. And this one we have, I call it the shape tool because inside it we have a lot of shapes. So you can select anything. Let's select the star. Now we can draw whole shape to have a perfect shape. Now you can use this small orange to create some effects. Orange circles here to create some effects. You see that? Wow, that's so beautiful. We have other presets too. Some shapes comes with presets, so you can select any of them and just let's put some flower. Okay, let's change the color to yellow. Okay, now we can give our dress some yellow flower. Yes, that's pretty nice. Yeah, so let's move on to the next one. We have what we call the artistic text tool, and this one is basically for adding text. So for the artistic text tool, you just click. Okay, you just click, then you write. Let's write dress. Okay, you can select everything, highlight, change the color. You can use the color picker. I think, yeah, you can change the color like that. So yeah, and you can also we have what we call the frame text tool. Click and drag to create a text box, and just right click and just select insert filler text. There you go. You can change the colors to black. Yeah, black. You just have to make sure you select the color before you change. You select the text before you change the color, and there you go. You have your text. Yeah, so that is the text. Now let's check the next tool, which is the color picker. The color picker is used to select colors. You understand? So in fact with this color that you want. You are just picking colors. Okay, so this yellow, yeah, you see that anytime I pick a color, the color hue changes. Okay, so that is that. Now let's move on to the next one, the style picker tool. Yeah, that one to change color, I think to copy a property from one end to another end. That is that. So let's check. We have the view tool, that is the hand. You can do that, but for me I love to use the space bar because that is very simple. And we also have the last, that is the zoom. The shortcut is Z. Click and drag to the right to zoom in, left to zoom out, just like that. Good. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe and like the video, and also comment how you think the tutorial went. In the next video, we are going to talk about the layout, okay, the layout too. So be looking forward to that. And if you want to continue creating, then click the video on your screen right now. Thank you and see you there. Bye.